ji on my right side and Shri Arun Goyal ji on my left, ECI officials and friends from media in such a large number. Very good morning to you. I hope you had a good weekend. You were all worried that the conference may happen during weekend. So I hope you had a good weekend. And it's a good starting on Monday. Friends, as you are aware, we have gathered here today to declare the schedule for the elections to the legislative assemblies of Mizoram, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Telangana. And we have gathered here today after a significant hiatus of 6 months. We met last. And as we stand on the cusp of elections in these states, it is worth noting that these polls hold a unique significance, not only for the residents of these states, but also for the nation. We will now, after this, meet in this form for the 24 elections. In the span of 40 days, the Commission has visited 5 states, all the 5 states, and held very detailed discussions with the political parties there, with the enforcement agencies of the central government and the state government. For example, all across the spectrum, to just tell you, income tax, excise, DRI, narcotics, coastal guards, state police, banks, RBI, civil aviation, everyone, whosoever is involved in some form of enforcement for the elections, RPF, Railway Protection Force, GRP, so everyone. So what transpired, what did they tell us and what did we told them, all that I will brief you. We met the political parties representatives और उनके भी जितने सुझाव, जितने फीडबैक थे वो हम सब लोगों ने लिए. उसके बारे में भी मैं थोड़ा आपको बताऊंगा. I'll use this opportunity to brief you about what had happened during these last 6 months when we have started the preparation for the elections. मुझे मालूम है कि आप लोग शेड्यूल जानने के लिए इच्छुक हैं ज़्यादा, लेकिन इस अपॉर्चुनिटी को हम यूज़ करेंगे आपको ये बताने के लिए कि कितनी मेहनत इन चुनावों को कराने के लिए होती है. So friends, just to give you an overview, the Mizoram Assembly's term is on 17th December 23, then all of the others in the latest by 16th of January 24. And there are total assembly constituencies, number is 679 if you total up assembly constituencies of Mizoram, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Telangana. तो जो ये 679 assembly constituencies हैं, वो पूरी कंट्री की 4200 लगभग लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज का 1/6 हैं. और इसी प्रकार से जो इनके इलेक्टर्स हैं, जो 16.14 करोड़ हैं कंबाइंडली, वो भी लगभग 95 करोड़ वोटर्स के 1/6 हैं. सो द एंटायर कंट्री by that standard would be going to polls in almost in the 1/6 of the country's spread of the voters and the assembly constituencies. The general overview, if we were to give you, the Mizoram has 8.52 lakh voters, Chhattisgarh 2.03, Madhya Pradesh 5.6, Rajasthan 5.2, Telangana 3.17, and total voters in these states would be totaling to 8.2 crore male and 7.8 crore female voters. Very interesting fact is that first time voters in these states would be 60.2 lakhs. I would elaborate on this point little later when I come to that. But this emphasis during the special summary revision in these states has been such that we have concentrated on the enrollment of the young voters, PWD voters, 80+ voters, centenarian voters, and also the improving the election gender ratio for these states. अगर आप देखेंगे तो जो PWD हैं उसके टोटल वोटर्स की संख्या 17.34 lakhs है, which is who are also entitled to vote from the comfort of their home if they are not able to come to the polling station. Similarly, 80 plus 24.7 and centenarian voters 32,410. All these three categories को पहली बार असेंबली इलेक्शंस में अपने घर से वोट की सुविधा प्राप्त होगी. और फ्रेंड्स, द लास्ट कॉलम अगर आप देखेंगे, इलेक्टर जेंडर रेशियो, तो दो स्टेट में ये जेंडर रेशियो ज़्यादा फेवरेबल है विमेन का. इट इज़ 1063 एंड 1012, विच इज़ अ वेरी हैप्पी स्टेट. इन अदर स्टेट्स ऑल्सो it has improved because of the special efforts undertaking during the SSR. और इस SSR की वजह से इन सब में भी ये electoral ratio काफ़ी बड़ा है. तेलंगाना is also very high, 9998, and so there is improvement even in the Rajasthan. Now, if you look at the inclusive electoral roll, we are emphasizing a lot. Let me repeat. जो इलेक्ट्रल रोल है वो पूरी तरीके से प्योर हो, वो पूरी तरीके से हेल्दी हो, इसके ऊपर में बहुत एम्फेसिस है. और ये भी मैं आपको अभी बताऊंगा कि जो SSR पूरी कंट्री का है वो भी शुरू होने वाला है. सो जस्ट टू से दैट वुमेन वोटर्स, यंग वोटर्स, particularly vulnerable tribal groups, persons with disabilities, senior citizens, transgenders, सबके ऊपर में इस SSR में जो इन 5 स्टेट्स में हुआ विशेष अभियान चलाया गया, ताकि पूरा का पूरा जो इलेक्ट्रल रूल है उसमें पहले सबको शामिल करें और फिर सबको हम वोटर पोलिंग स्टेशन पे लेके आएँ. सो दिस इज़ द एफर्ट. हाउ डू वी फर्स्ट एंटर देम इनटू द रोल एंड देन ब्रिंग देम टू द पोल. सो फ्रॉम रोल टू पोल is the emphasis by which we are all working. So now, friends, very interesting and a special effort which the Commission is undertaking. ये जो particularly vulnerable tribal groups हैं पूरी कंट्री में 75 ऐसी कम्युनिटीज़ हैं, और कमीशन ने ये बीड़ा उठाया है कि हम इनको सबको जो लास्ट पंक्ति में हैं, दे आर ऑलमोस्ट द लोएस्ट in the human development indices in the entire country, in the amongst the voters. So we will enroll them fully. And as a happy reporting to you, in these 4 states we have 12 PVTGs and they have been enrolled 100%. तो ये हमें बड़ी खुशी का विषय है कि 100% एनरोल हुई हैं, और हम आपको ये भी दिखाएंगे कि इनको किस प्रकार से हम पोलिंग स्टेशंस में लाने की कोशिश करेंगे. अगर यूथ की बात करें तो 60 लाख जो यूथ हैं वो ऐसे हैं जो फर्स्ट टाइम वोटर्स होंगे 18 to 19 years in these 5 states. And as you are all aware, there was an amendment for qualifying dates to be changed to 4 dates instead of the 1st January of the every year. So उसकी वजह से 15.39 lakh voters as such who are completing their 18th year after the 1st January 2023. And because of this amendment, 15.3 lakh voters would be able to exercise their franchise in this election. This is the positive effect and of that amendment which we brought. And in line of that, we are also taking up to showcase that these 2,900 plus polling stations would be managed by our youngest employees, so that we also focus on and tackle the youth apathy which we keep encountering in states after states. Similarly, if we come to women, as I mentioned earlier, women का जो gender ratio है वो भी लगातार improve हो रहा है. So Chhattisgarh has improved from 995 to 1012. For Madhya Pradesh from 917 to a jump of 945. Mizoram again from 1051 to 1063 gender ratio. And Rajasthan and also Telangana from 982 to 998. And net addition of the female electors, which is also a very happy state for us, is 23.6 lakhs. तो अब एफर्ट ये है कि उनको पहले हमने पोल में जोड़ दिया और अब हम उनको पोलिंग स्टेशंस पर लेके आए by providing them all kinds of facilities which are possible. How do we do that? So if you look at the inclusive and pure nature of the electoral roll, since the efforts we are making after the second SSR which happened in these 5 going states, 57.89 lakhs is the total addition and this happened, there is an house-to-house survey which is happening which happened in these states and which is also happening in the entire country in a run-up to the SSR for the entire country. Deletions were 20.59 lakhs, and most importantly the modifications. किसी का एड्रेस गलत है, किसी का फोटो ठीक नहीं है, किसी का फ़ोन नंबर डला हुआ नहीं है, सबके लिए 22.35 लाख मॉडिफिकेशंस और 18 to 19 एज ग्रुप में 18.37 लाख एडिशंस. ये सभी स्लाइड्स की कॉपी आपको साइड बाय साइड मिल रही होगी. These are being put on the media's website and all. So you don't have to repeat this. I am sure you are getting it side by side, and it will be posted also in our website immediately. Next. Before coming to the overview of polling stations, friends, through you, let me tell everybody, all voters in the country, that the general SSR है, summary revision for the year 24, would start from 17/10/23. Draft rolls will be published on 17/10/23. तो मेरे सभी वोटर्स से आपके माध्यम से अनुरोध है कि अपना अपना नाम देखें, अपना अपना पोलिंग स्टेशन देखें. कोई भी नाम किसी को ऐड कराना है, या हमारे यंग वोटर्स को तो ऐड कराएं, महिलाओं को जिसको भी ऐड कराना है ऐड कराएं उसमें. किसी को चेंज करना है, फ़ोटो चेंज करनी है, मोबाइल नंबर लिखना है तो लिखाएं. घर घर में हाउस टू हाउस सर्वे would be undertaken by BLOs from 17/10/23 to 30/11/23, यानी 17 अक्टूबर 23 से 30 नवंबर 23 तक पूरी कंट्री में किसी को भी वोटर लिस्ट से संबंधित कोई भी एडिशन कराना है, डिलीशन कराना है, कोई भी नाम में मॉडिफिकेशन कराना है, एवरीबडी इज वेलकम टू डू दिस आइदर थ्रू BLO or through the voter helpline BHA application. You can directly do this. So I would appeal through you to everybody to kindly make these changes. Friends, now coming to the polling stations, there would be 1.77 lakh polling stations in these 5 states, and of which 1.01 would have webcasting facility. We have prescribed 50% webcasting, and with a liberty to the states on the basis of vulnerabilities to increase it on their own. So this would be close to 1.01 lakh. Then all this would be monitored through the control rooms, and the number of women managed polling stations there would be 17,734 polling stations which will be model polling stations. There would be PWD managed polling stations, 621, and women managed would be 8,192, more than one in most of the constituencies. Coming to the assured minimum facilities, every polling station would have toilet, drinking water, ramp, light, help desk, signage. सभी polling stations पे सुविधा होगी, और प्रयास ये है कि पहले आपको पूरी तरीके से वोटर लिस्ट में शामिल करें. शामिल करने के बाद आपकी जो वोटिंग एक्सपीरियंस है पोलिंग स्टेशन पे, उसको भी और सहज और सुगम बनाएं, और उसको ये भी माध्यम बनाएं कि सोसाइटी में PWDs, ट्रांसजेंडर, वुमेन, ओल्ड एज, सब किसी को सेंसिटिविटी स्पेसिफिकली एक